keep it to yourself. I'm feeling curious, want to explore it, nothing too serious. Forget the world for a minute, before we know it, the future's the past. Seize the moment while we're in it, hold on to each other as long as it lasts. I don't care about forever, 'cause sometimes forever is over so fast. Hush, hush, baby, come in here with me. I want for you to go. No need to worry, there is no hurry to stay. We'll take it slow.
It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hey, Ernie Johnson here, and I'm joined by Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. Welcome to the NBA on 2K Sports. And it is Raptor basketball tonight as the Toronto Raptors go up against the Oklahoma City Thunder. And for Oklahoma City, they are putting together an impressive stretch of basketball. Only one loss in their last 8 games. We'll see if that continues tonight. And we all know that DeMar DeRozan is an incredible scorer. But one of the big reasons why he's so good often gets overlooked. It's his footwork. Some would say it's the best in the game at his position.
Yeah, he can protect the ball and create space. I know you guys saying this is not a word. His feet work.
It's footwork.
Feet work is amazing.
Okay.
Foot
he
is
has
one.
feet.
Yeah, feet. And both of
But
his
they
feet
don't
go to work.
together.
Well, tell me this. If you have great hand-eye coordination, is it great hands-eyes coordination?
Yes.
No, it's great hand-eye coordination.
No, it's hands, eyes.
Kenny, please,
I'm
take my
speechless.
side.
I'm speechless.
Take my
because,
side.
You know, first of all, he has a great step-through move. That's what really, and he gets to the rim. He's always
And he
in
hits
control.
tough shots.
He hits tough shots. And I always say this, Ernie, if you don't, he plays chest to chest, so he plays chesses to chesses.
Chesses to chesses.
I have a question for the panel.
What is your question?
One goose is what?
Geese.
One goose is a
What's
goose.
a goose?
And more than one goose is?
Geese.
Geese.
All right, one moose is a what?
Moose.
Moose.
More than one moose. Meese. Thank you very much.
It's not meese. It's not meese.
What does that have to do with anything?
I don't know.
Goose, geese, moose, meese.
Footwork, feet work.
Same thing.
Chesses,
Hands-eyes coordination.
Same thing, Ernie.
Man.
It's that time of the year. Happy holidays, everyone, from 2K Sports as we get set to bring you some mid-season NBA action. This is Kevin Harlan with Greg Anthony and Doris Burke, our game analysts, and from the sideline, David Aldridge. The Thunder enjoying this break from the road. This game against Toronto here, it's their first look at the Raptors. And not only a 1-1 split series between these two teams last year, guys, but both wins were on the road, so home court advantage wasn't that big an advantage.
Yeah, it should be an interesting matchup tonight. These two teams will only face off twice all season.
Well, so you want to make these opportunities count, right? Since they don't see each other often, it's going to be an intriguing battle.
And with tip-off coming up, we've got just enough time to hear from our good friend David Aldridge on the sideline. D.A., take it away.
Well, Kevin, one of the strengths of this Toronto Raptors team is its continuity. DeMar DeRozan said it goes a long way. Everybody knows everybody's game. It's just second nature now. Sometimes chemistry can beat talent, and I think we have that chemistry, given they have seen a lot and grown a lot together.
That shared experience and corporate knowledge, so important, D.A. Thank you. Doris, two terrific defenses going at it tonight. Most people expect a low-scoring contest. How do you go about getting points in a game like this?
Well, against high-caliber defenses, one thing you have to do is be patient, work your offense into the second and third options, but most importantly, Kev, you've got to take care of that rock.
Ready, gentlemen? Ready?
And so off the tip, it's Toronto. All fueled up and ready to go. Let's check out who's on the floor, courtesy of Gatorade. So for Toronto right now, Ibaka is the 4, and Valanciunas in the middle. The talented Lowry and DeRozan pair in the backcourt. And it's Anunoby in at the small forward. And the shot goes in.
Well, for all the talk about the accurate shooters in the league, give it up to Kyle Lowry for his precise passing ability.
It's good.
And where's the help? Obviously, a missed rotation, something they're going to want to patch up.
Right, because otherwise you're going to give up those close-range opportunities all night. If you allow the opposition to get into a groove, look out.
Now, flying high and throwing.
Unbelievable. Now, the superb athleticism of Russell Westbrook on full display, the vertical out of this world.
That was a great angle we just saw, courtesy of Under Armour. Another Unleash Chaos moment.
How on earth did they let him get that wide open?
Goes up on the wing. Rebounded by Valanciunas.
Yeah, and something we always talk about, though, shot selection.
Yeah, that's not a good example right there. You could have worked it around to get a better opportunity.
Well defended, though, and he's not someone who handles that kind of pressure very well.
I'll tell you, there's a tenacity to his driving ability that is almost awe-inspiring. Go ahead, Russell.
First quarter of play with about a minute and a half gone. Outside DeRozan. Lowry a screen on Westbrook. Ibaka sets the pick for DeRozan. And he banks in the layup. DeRozan's got his first 2 points of the night.
Well, tremendous scoring on the move, right? Not to take anything away from that spot-up mid-range game, but DeRozan just dynamite getting to the cup.
Oh, you got to feel for a guy getting dunked on like that. I mean, he's got no shot to stop that unless maybe he can pick up another foot somewhere.
Here's DeRozan following the score by Oklahoma City. Here's Lowry. Again, the miss by Lowry.
Well, it's not the defense that caused that miss. That one's all on him.
Left side, Adams. Unloads from 9. And Adams with the slam.
You can see Russell Westbrook building the confidence of his teammates, fires it to them when they're open.
Lowry against Westbrook. They double him with George. George against DeRozan. Knocked away. 6 to shoot. Oh, that's blocked. Lowry for 3. Again, the miss by Lowry.
Well, despite his struggles from the field in this period, you know he's going to keep asking for the basketball.
And really keeping the ball hopping around here offensively.
For the Raptors, they come in off the loss to the Mavericks in Dallas.
How about the shooting percentage, though? In the low 30s. That tells you all you need to know.
I think indicative of some breakdowns in their offensive execution. You don't create any open looks, and they couldn't make the ones they were taking.
And, folks, he does more than just put 2 points onto their lead. He does it with a little bit of flair.
He sure does. You're right. It's a dazzling move to the bucket for him.
And the way he went about it, no better way to increase the lead and energizes your teammates.
And here's George following Kyle Lowry's 3. Here's Adams. Nice D from Valanciunas.
Well, I wouldn't say the D was exceptional, but it certainly was enough to bother him.
And DeRozan kicks to Ibaka. Valanciunas. That's his second shot and his second basket. He's 2 for 2.
Well, terrific instincts from Jonas Valanciunas on the interior. This guy has improved in the low post every year.
And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact and he'll shoot 2.
Well, Paul George has made himself into one of the premier two-way perimeter players in the NBA. I think you have to put him in that category with Kawhi Leonard and LeBron James. He can take over a game in every facet, guys.
Throw good, Paul George. Endorsed Paul George, capable of carrying a team offensively while also locking down the other team's top wing threat.
And that, to me, Kev, is one of the hardest things to do in this league. To expend the energy necessary to be an elite two-way player, Paul George is the real deal.
And George drops them both.
Boy, his free throw shooting has been on the mark tonight. Nothing new there, right?
Screened by Valanciunas. Here's Anunoby. Terrific design on the pick play, and he lays it in. Anunoby's got his first points of the game.
Well, guys, really good court vision, allowing DeRozan to make that pass. You know, he sees the play developing way in advance.
And already you're seeing great execution from both teams.
Well, I like the synergy, right? The ball is moving well, and they're seeing that hard work pay off.
Here's Lowry. Paul George making his last shot. Anunoby. It's good on the putback.
Oh, great timing. He is one tough customer on that offensive glass.
You know, it's like he has a sixth sense of where that rebound is going. And the bucket counts. 3-point chance here.
Yeah, Kevin, there are nights where it's impossible to stop Paul George. He is such a strong guy who knows how to convert through these plays.
For Oklahoma City, they have been perfect at the line so far, albeit just 2 for 2.
This season, in general, has not been kind to them at the free throw line. Only about 71%. Well, when Paul George announced this summer that he intended to leave for the Lakers when the contract ran out, you knew what was coming. Even as a rental possibility, the suitors lined up, and eventually the price was paid, and now George finds himself in a Thunder uniform.
And Lowry gets double-teamed. Tipped away. Stolen by George. The numbers in their favor. Here's Roberson, and the dunk by Roberson.
Well, just the ability to have the kind of vision that Paul George has, exceptional at getting his teammates the basketball.
And to many, the Thunder came out of nowhere to land George in that trade.
You know, most thought Cleveland or maybe Boston were the front runners for his services, but the Thunder snuck in and made their team a 2-star squad once again. Very interesting to see how far the duo of Westbrook and George can go.
Anunoby, good. Anunoby's got 7 points.
And Kev, that's where the playmaking of DeMar DeRozan helps set them up for that scoring opportunity. What a sharp feed for him.
Beautiful reverse jam right there.
Use the rim to protect the ball, I think. Raptors trail by 4. And it's Paul George with the foul. That'll be his second foul of the game. Now Lowry, 23 points for him the last game against Dallas.
You know, he was also one of their key contributors on the glass. His effort was terrific.
Now here is Ibaka to the inside. Anunoby.
Well, you have to love the intensity with which Steven Adams plays, always giving his best to throw shooters off. Boy, you have got to love the dime, the pass on time and on target.
Here's Lowry. 6 points for him. Got a piece of it. And that's out of bounds. Toronto will retain possession. A chance here to assess what parts of the floor the attempts have been coming from as we look at the shot chart for Oklahoma City.
And the one shot they've stayed away from tonight has been that long three. They've been a little more consistent with their shot selection, not launching as many deep threes.
And the Raptors with the ball. They trail by 6. To the paint, hangs, and he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. Doris, so often we talk about high basketball IQ. Is that something you can learn, or do you have to be born with something like that?
I think it's probably a little bit of both, but if you look at someone like LeBron James, whose basketball IQ may be the highest we've ever seen, I think he's a guy whose basketball knowledge is always expanding, and I think if you love the game, you're constantly taking in information, so probably a little bit of both.
So you've always got to be curious, right? Even if you're at the top of the game like LeBron or yourself.
Right. LeBron is just, he's constantly taking in sources of information, upping his ante in terms of film watching and preparation. Really special to be able to watch that guy work.
I know that's how you prepare as a broadcaster now. I'd like to tag along sometime and watch you prepare for a game. That'd be a lot of fun.
It'd be a blast.
The Raptors making a switch here. Siakam's checked in.
Well, the Raptors have been a top-tier team in the East. There's no question about it. You think back to 2014, maybe a rebuild. They trade away Rudy Gay. Kyle Lowry, there was some talk of him going to the Knicks. That falls through. All of a sudden, the team starts winning, and they haven't looked back.
Here is Lowry. Steven Adams making his last shot, and the ball travels out of bounds. It was last touched by George.
And let's see some of the numbers here for Paul George. He's been more than solid over the last month. He's averaging about 19 points per, just over 2 steals and 5 rebounds. And you love his anticipation. All those steals, he's always a step ahead, reading plays before they develop.
There's a sneakiness, a craftiness. You think he's not watching, and suddenly he's taking the ball in the other direction.
And trailing here in the first, you'd like to see them be a little more aggressive on the offensive glass.
And you talk about the Raptors front office, very progressive and very aggressive. Doris, they're willing to take a risk in pursuit of a title.
Well, they have excellent leadership at the top, and it's a group that prioritizes winning. They are willing to be aggressive in the acquisition of talent, and they are always in search of pieces that will improve their roster.
And when you build a big lead like this, especially early, you have to guard against the letdown.
No, exactly right. You can't afford to get complacent, right? They have to stay hungry and humble if they want to keep this lead.
So, timeout called here, the first for Toronto. Well, you talk about the very definition of what a defensive specialist is, Doris, and that is Andre Robertson.
Right. What you love about Robertson is he can match up with multiple positions on the defensive end. One thing you worry about, obviously, is teams when he is on the offensive end, they're going to give him a lot of shots because he's yet to prove he can consistently knock those down.
And Oklahoma City going with a whole new group out there. A new group in now for the Raptors. And Toronto has possession. It's a 10-point game. Oh, and a fast break for Oklahoma City.
Methodical in their approach. They have absolutely owned this first quarter.
And it's early, but obviously you've got to like the dominance down low. They're simply bullying the other team right now.
Stripped it away. And again, Oklahoma City running the court in transition. Here's Grant, and the dunk by Grant.
Terrific focus from Jeremy Grant. This guy understands how to take contact and fight through it.
Raptors trail by 14. It's Miles on the wing. They get the rebound. That's tipped. Outside Felton. Misses from close range.
Not the kind of strong finish it should have been. Something threw him off.
It's Miles on the wing. Taking a look at his stats, he's averaging around 9.5 points a game.
He might not have the long range ability of some other guys, but he will knock down open ones like that.
Here's Patterson. Good for the basket. Starting off 1 for 1 with that shot.
Yeah, that's the third bucket in a row from the paint. This defense needs to clog those lanes in the middle.
Patterson bringing the double. And pushing it up here. Here is Oklahoma City. The shot, no good.
That's simply not aggressive enough. Needs to show grit and determination, and didn't on that one.
Miles against Grant, and Miles kicks to Powell. There's the foul. It's on Patrick Patterson. That's his first foul. The Raptors shooting their third and fourth free throw shots of the night.
Now, gentlemen, 2 shots. 2 shots.
And the first one drops. Doris, with the NBA draft becoming of greater interest to the casual fan, plenty of household names making big splashes. But who are some of the young players, as you take a look at the list, on the rise who have done it rather quietly, maybe without the headlines?
I think you'd have to look at a player like Domantas Sabonis. Sabonis, of course, the son of the great Arvydas Sabonis, has been around the game from the time he was born. And I think what you see with Domantas is this incredible feel for the game. Shot making, play making, rebounding ability, exceptional within the context of a system. I'd say quietly Sabonis is going to be a tremendous player.
I saw a lot of Clint Capella down at Houston in the playoffs last year. He comes to mind as well.
That's a great point. Guy runs the floor hard. He's the perfect foil for James Harden in the screen and roll action. That's another great example, Kev.
And Toronto has possession following the shot by Patrick Patterson. Birtle, the pass to Powell. And a lot of contact on that one, so he'll shoot 2 here. Why don't we now look at the league's highest scoring teams? The real stats, the real scores from the real NBA. In fourth, the Raptors.
And how about the year they've had offensively? This is a team that can put points on the board in a hurry. Always fun to watch them play.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
The free throw drops for Powell. The one thing we saw with the Thunder last postseason, Doris, is that when Russell Westbrook comes off the floor, this team sometimes lost its direction.
Yeah, but now with Paul George in the fold, it makes sense to stagger their minutes. That way they won't have such a dramatic drop-off if Russell Westbrook leaves the floor.
That one is no good. Oklahoma City leading by 10. Baseline J on the way. Patterson can't get it to go. Toronto's gotten a lot of shots off from three-point land in the first quarter, but they're only 4 of 9. Patterson bringing the double. Dishes to Pirtle. Now the pass to Siakam. And oh boy, a lot of contact there, but he gets the call and will shoot 2. That's on Patrick Patterson. And you watch the Thunder play, and they are just so physical with teams. They will bump you inside and outside and do everything they can do to let you know they are going to lock things down.
Well, look up and down the roster, Kevin, and you're going to see very physical players. Steven Adams and Russell Westbrook set the tone, but you can't expect to play the Thunder and not be needing a little ice bath after the game.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
First free throw is good. He's perfect from the line this time. The Thunder leading by 8. Felton kicks to Eustace. Nice shot by Felton. Felton's got his first basket.
And they are attacking the rim and getting great results.
Poked loose. And Pirtle pulls it down. It's rebounded by Oklahoma City, coming into this having notched a win against the Rockets in their last game.
And once they established that flow offensively, really never got any resistance from the D.
I think, Greg, you can't expect to win with that kind of effort. The defense was nowhere to be found, and it cost them all night long.
There's the foul. It's on Patrick Patterson. That will get him his 4th foul of the game, and due to the bonus, we will head to the line for 2. For Toronto, they have been good at the free throw line. This one, 7 of 8.
Yeah, looking over their percentage on the season, I think they will be thrilled with the number in terms of their free throw percentage, 79.
First one falls for him.
Boy, some tough decisions for the Raptors this past summer, right? A lot of their players entering free agency, not enough money to go around. It's a good problem to have, though, having too much talent.
And the Raptors roster getting expensive. Doris, in your opinion, are they a contender? And is it worth paying the luxury tax if they're not?
Well, Kev, we're talking about a top 3 seed in the East last season. They're coming off back-to-back 50-win seasons. So whether or not they can win it all, that kind of winning has value. But as presently constituted, do I think they win a championship? No.
And so it's Oklahoma City with it. Here's Abrinas. Buries it down low. And the Thunder lead by 12.
And the crisp passing has opened things up for them offensively.
Here's Powell. Kept alive. Hurdle. The layup off target.
They hold the early advantage on the glass.
A reverse. He lays it in. Abrinas has got 6.
Just no resistance on the inside. That's their 5th consecutive make in the paint.
Knocks it loose. That's going to be over and back. Not watching for the line that time.
Yeah, just sloppy basketball in that first half. They just seem a little bit out of sync.
"16 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Here's Eustace. Takes the 12-footer and hits. Pass to Siakam. Shoots over Grant. Offline with the baseline jumper. And as the first quarter wraps up, already a double-digit lead. Thunder lead by 16. 2K Sports back in a moment here in Oklahoma City. And a moment now to hear from Steven Adams as he reflects back on a life growing up as the youngest of 18 children back in New Zealand.
So, like, the youngest over there has to do everything, like all chores, pretty much 18 years of being rookie. That's pretty much all it is, and people just beat you up for no reason.
Hard to imagine growing up in such a huge family, but it sounds like maybe it prepared him for life in the NBA.
Yeah, I'd say it might have toughened him up a little bit, that's for sure. Wow, 18? That is mind-boggling.
Welcome back, everyone. A lopsided first quarter in the books already as we start the second quarter. And a very convincing performance from the Thunder so far.
Well, already in the first period, they found ways to get this offense ramped up.
Well, I think one key is they've controlled the tempo so far. And I know it's early, but it helps to have this kind of lead.
Setting the floor for the Raptors. They've got Wright. Hurdle is out there with C.J. Miles. And it's Siakam in at the 4 spot. Raptors trail by 20. Now here's Wright. Pass to Van Vliet. Hurdle with the ball. Guarded now by Patrick Patterson. Knocks it loose. Taken away by Felton. And the Thunder pushing it up now. Rips down the breakaway slam.
And they're just dominating on both ends. And it's reflected now in the score.
Oh, absolutely, Greg. They're absolutely rolling in sync totally on both the offensive and defensive ends.
That one falls. Van Vliet's got 9.
Defensive rebounding, just such a crucial part of the game.
I'll tell you, if you don't box out well, expect to get burned. You can't afford to give them second chance opportunities.
and they're beginning to just flat out fall apart defensively right now, especially on the interior.
Here's Van Vliet. Patrick Patterson picking up that last bucket. The dish to Miles. Here's Siakam. The putback. It's good on the putback.
Well, Kev, this team loves it when Pirtle can make an impact on the offensive glass. There's a lot of ways he can get his points, but this is an easy one.
Yeah, these defenders just look a bit overmatched, especially inside.
We're now about 2 minutes into the second quarter. Steven Adams, he's checked in for Patrick Patterson. And the Raptors also making a change. Valanciunas is checked in. Here's Siakam. Looking at his numbers, he's averaging about 6.5 points a game. And he takes it in for the layup off a very nice feed.
And guys, they continue to put a lot of pressure on the interior defenders with their work down low.
Listen, if you're open, Felton will find you. He has just such a great feel for the game.
Toronto, they've gone 50% from the floor in the second quarter, 3 of 6. Adams brings the double team. Quarter 2 and just under 2.5 minutes gone by. Here's Van Vliet. Here's Valanciunas. The third shot of the possession finally falls for him. He's got 6.
Well, Jonas Valanciunas has the instincts, the size, and the smarts to go ahead and take advantage of those missed shots and create them into points.
And 10 of their last 12 coming off assists.
Toronto calls timeout. Doris, they say that one of the toughest things about calling a game is balancing pure basketball knowledge with entertainment. What's your approach with that topic?
Do you know that was the last piece of broadcasting that I think fell into place for me? For a long time, I felt like I was proving myself, Kevin, so I didn't relax and enjoy it. But my son one time said to me, when we were watching a game, he said, Mom, you have to understand when the announcers are having fun, we're having fun.
Chemistry is such a big part of it, isn't it?
Crucial.
Getting ready for Oklahoma City. Carmelo Anthony's checked in for Josh Eustace. Paul George comes in for Jeremy Grant. Roberson, he's checked in for Alex Abrinas. And Russell Westbrook is subbed in for Raymond Felton. Now here's Wright. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him. Yes, that goes in.
And you're not going to pass up that kind of look.
And for those of you just joining us, we're in the second quarter with about 3 minutes gone by. On the wing, George. Over Ibaka. And the shot falls short this time. Raptors trail by 20. Stolen by Westbrook. And then George with the jam.
Now, Paul George is an exceptional athlete and demonstrating his insane dunking skills there. Get this guy in the dunk competition.
Now here's Wright. Looking at his point production, he averages almost 8 points a game. And 2 free throws coming up, unable to get that one to go with all the contact.
And really, DeMar DeRozan is a master at what he calls body hunting, that ability to just kind of draw fouls. I think he and James Harden actually are the guys that have really kind of set the tone for how to create those opportunities to get to the line.
Two shots.
And he makes the first. And DeMar DeRozan, always, Greg, among the league leaders in free throw attempts.
And when you look at him, 6'7", 220 pounds with tremendous athleticism, He has got all the tools. Beyond, though, that attack mentality, he's a savvy basketball player. Those little shot fakes, his footwork helped this guy live at the line.
And DeRozan signing a big contract extension to stay in Toronto, Doris, the summer of 2016.
Right, Kev. When he did that, it was the second largest contract in league history. And the guy didn't even take an interview with another organization. He said, I am Toronto.
Here is Ibaka. Paul George making his last shot. Ibaka drawing the double team. Anunoby nails the wide open jump shot. Anunoby's got 11 points.
You know, we call that great recognition of the situation. He knew where the double team on him was coming from. A teammate was open somewhere, and he found him.
And it comes off the front of the rim. Raptors trail by 20. DeRozan dishes to Lowry. Here's Ibaka. Rebound by Anthony. Anthony's got 3 rebounds now in this one. The shot by George, wide open. And they cash in right away with the quick shot.
Now, Kevin, if you're the defense, you're starting to get slightly concerned. Paul George creating well for himself on another level.
And that one drops for him. Anunoby's got 4 points now in the quarter.
And, you know, he's enjoyed the kind of day you expect in terms of shooting the basketball. He can bring them right back into this game. Indicative of what we've seen tonight. One team being the aggressor, the other failing to react.
Right, really a disappointing effort on the defensive end, not offering any challenge at all at the cup.
Ibaka connects on the foul line jumper. Ibaka's got his second bucket of the night.
Yeah, they've raised their shooting percentage in this quarter, and they're starting to get on track.
That's a man with bad intentions. Melo in attack mode.
The Raptors have gone 8 of 13 in the second quarter, well above the 50% mark from the field. Screened by Valanciunas. Three-pointer, Lowry. Thunder with the rebound. Adams has got 3 rebounds so far in the game.
Boy, how well does he use his frame to hold off the defense? Melo with the strong finish.
Toronto's gone 0 of 3 from beyond the arc to start the second quarter. Valanciunas with a screen on Westbrook. Lowry drawing the double team. And Valanciunas kicks to DeRozan. That's tipped. Shot clock at 6. Oh, and a fast break for Oklahoma City. And Oklahoma City again with the bucket.
Yeah, the chemistry has been terrific. Really impressed with their offensive execution.
The Raptors shooting a sweet 57% clip in quarter number 2. Toronto calls timeout.
You know, you just look back on the way Melo's game has evolved over his career. Certainly a couple of changes. He uses his outside shot far more often now that he is more comfortable with his 3. And not as many fouls drawn, but he still does a really good job attacking the rim.
And think about Melo's game over the years, Doris. He's made adjustments, but overall he has remained incredibly consistent in what his strengths are.
Well, this guy is a tremendous scorer from the mid-range. You can post him on the low block. You certainly don't score 20 points per game every season in your career without having multiple tools at your disposal.
Here's the stat sheet on DeMar DeRozan. His last 10 games have been exceptional, putting up 26 points per, 5 assists, and 4 rebounds. He has been at his most dynamic, no question about it, a real handful.
Let's make no mistake, one of the elite talents in the NBA and operating at the highest level right now.
Here's Roberson, and count it, and a chance for one more at the free throw line.
And they've had assists now on their last 3 baskets.
Greg, you watch the Thunder play, and it's clear that this team comes out looking to attack. Everyone on the team wants to put it on the floor and go right at the rim.
And part of that is their leader, Westbrook, just setting the tone. I mean, team finished near the top in points in the paint last season, and the addition of Paul George just helps to enforce that strength.
And the free throw, no good. And what a terrific fan base for the Raptors. Third highest attendance in the league.
Well, visiting players will talk about how loud they get, Kev. And think about it, even on the road, a lot of the Raptors fans will make their presence felt.
They've shared the load offensively.
And guys, they've put the defense on their heels. You can see right now they're trying to react, and that's what you want when you're in a rhythm offensively.
Toronto's gone 1 of 4 from three-point range in the second. Not a whole lot dropping out there for them. Screened by Valanciunas. They double him with George. Powell kicks to Lowry. Over Anthony, the 18-footer is right on the mark. And that's now 11 points for Kyle Lowry.
Well, that's a sight that's become quite familiar over the years. Lowry draining the mid-range jumper. Put another 2 on the board.
Oh, let's go home. That was just ridiculous.
I do not remember the last time I saw a dunk like that in a game. So it's Toronto now. The Thunder making the shot. Poked away. Ibaka wide open. He fires. And the Raptors hit again from deep.
Nice to see that Ibaka has added the three-point shot to his arsenal. You have now got to get a hand up on him when he's beyond the arc.
Yeah, a nice, strong finish on the inside.
But Greg, that's what he does. He's got the dunker mentality. Here's Powell. The Thunder making the shot. Outside Lowry. The three-pointer, no good. Here's George. And there's the foul on the shot. He'll go to the line for 2. And the foul goes against Toronto. And last season for Melo was a bit of a circus. A lot of barbs being traded through the media between him and Knicks management. Neither party, Doris, pleased with what was happening, and it was a distraction to his play on the floor.
I think Melo is probably looking forward to putting that behind him. The trade rumors from a season ago didn't help. They certainly took a toll on the New York Knicks, and it's very hard to be a productive player with that much going on outside the confines of the lines.
The first free throw is good.
Well, if you think back to last season, guys, the narrative was that Russell Westbrook had zero help on this roster. To be completely honest, I thought it was unfair to the pieces that were around Russell Westbrook and the job they did playing their roles to exactly the standard this organization wanted.
That one falls, so he hits both of them. And what the fans are saying is that Westbrook, Doris, just needs more help around him.
Well, certainly the acquisition of Paul George should relieve some pressure on Russell Westbrook because now he's teamed along yet another superstar.
And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot. And here is the shot chart as we see how things are going for George.
And this is the kind of performance that everyone talks about seeing in person. The way he's attacked the defense with no hesitation. The tough shots he's taken and made, just a masterpiece. When he gets it going, he can put up some big numbers.
Shooting 2.
A free throw dropped for DeRozan.
And getting to the line and hitting your free throws, a good way to get back into the game. It stops the clock and extends the game and allows you the opportunity to set your defense. They've been perfect from the line so far here in the second quarter.
He makes 1 of 2 that time. And Dwayne Casey, known as a grinder, pound the rock, Doris, is his motto.
Well, along those lines, how about this? In college, he actually worked in a coal mine in order to get the money to buy a car. Hard work indeed. And we're not talking just any car. It was a 70s white coupe with swivel seats. How cool is that for a young guy?
Oklahoma City shooting their 7th and 8th attempts at the foul line tonight.
Two shots. Relax on the first.
The first one falls. You look at the success that Coach Billy Donovan has had both at the college level at Florida and his first few years in the NBA at Oklahoma City. Doris, he very much feels at home in playoff and pressure situations.
Well, certainly Billy D has a lot of experience managing a team in a postseason setting. This is a guy who always tinkers during the regular season to find different angles to help his guys. Billy Donovan, one of those guys increasingly who you don't want to see in a 7-game series.
Toronto's gotten the three-point bug tonight. They've taken 15 shots outside the arc. They're 6 of 15. Bertle, the pass to Powell. Fires for 3. Rebounded by Anthony. Anthony's got 5 rebounds tonight from the baseline. And that one, good. And now it's 27 points for George.
I'll tell you, what a start in the first quarter, and now he's taking it to a new level here in the second.
Paul George with the steal. And it's George finishing it off.
Boy, you have got to love the energy Paul George is playing with. Throws the hammer down.
The Raptors shooting 47% from the floor, getting it done. And Lowry gets double-teamed. Fires the 3. The putback. Great positioning on the putback.
Yeah, I thought he was rushing his shot early on, but not here in the second quarter.
Here's George, and it's George finishing it off.
Well, Paul George routinely making these difficult shots look easy. He's showing how dominant he truly is.
Now here's Powell. Ibaka drawing the double team. Bertle with the ball. Now defended by Adams. Here's Lowry. Good work there as it goes. Lowry's got 13 points.
Well, Kevin, this guy's proven over and over that despite his size disadvantage, he's still able to score in the paint.
Well, these are players that have a job to do, and they've been doing it very well. Here's a look at the top passing point guards in the NBA over the course of the past 10 games. Russell Westbrook, number 1.
And he's been doing everything you want from that position, getting everyone involved, making sure the defense has to worry about all 5 guys on the court.
Now, here's Lowry. He's got 13. Knocked loose. And so it looks like the Raptors will retain possession here.
And taking a look here at some numbers for Russell Westbrook. Just an incredible month of basketball. First in assists, third in steals, and ranked among the top 10 in scoring. He can fill it up with the best of them.
And we're talking about the ultimate competitor here. Leading the league in assists, maximizing every possession. He just tears apart a defense.
Well, you simply cannot leave C.J. Miles open from the perimeter, right? He's unbelievable.
Here he comes, and there he goes.
Look at him punish that rim. Toronto shooting a terrific 61% in the second quarter. There's the double team with Grant. Powell kicks to Lowry. To the paint. Here's Siakam. That falls. Nice feed that time from Kyle Lowry. Siakam's got 4 this quarter.
Yeah, they've gotten into a nice flow this quarter.
It's Westbrook with the drive. That one goes in.
I like to watch Russell Westbrook mix it up inside. This guy can jump shoot, drive it, or if you give him a close window, he'll finish that as well.
Here's Siakam. 6 points for him. This one for 3. The shot by Lowry, no good.
Boy, the way he's been going, he is not going to be the guy to turn this around.
They get it back. Grant, nice work on the boards, paying off with the basket. Grant's got his second basket of the night.
Oh, great production on the interior right now. 8 straight from inside.
And the wide open shot from Miles. A 3-pointer off the mark. The Thunder shooting has been out of this world. 70. Oh!
My goodness. I can't imagine the energy expended by Russell Westbrook. Always a threat to score, even when he's getting knocked around.
There's 39 seconds left in the first half of the game. Stolen by Westbrook. Robertson dishes to Anthony. A pull-up, and again it's Oklahoma City.
And good passing, setting up a lot of these buckets right now, Kevin. That's been the key.
Toronto shooting at 48% from the floor. Looking good. Knocked loose. Siakam passes to Lowry. Toronto working the ball around now. Anthony on the double team. Powell kicks to Lowry. 5 on the clock, and that's out of bounds. Toronto will retain possession.
So close to getting the steal there, but the deflection equally as effective.
Right. I mean, that's solid defense. At the very least, you like seeing them muck it up and make things difficult.
.11 seconds left to play here in the second quarter. Here's Powell. It's deflected. 2 on the clock. Oh!
Well, Jeremy Grant doing work at the rim. Don't give him any space, boy. This guy can get up.
Powell. It doesn't go for him. And so it's Oklahoma City going to the break, holding an enormous 36-point lead. The scoring has been tremendous, and they are shooting lights out with very high accuracy. And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Carmelo, what was the area of emphasis for your team during the first half?
Well, we're doing it on both ends of the court. We're buckling down on the defensive end. We're sharing the ball offensively, making good plays. You know, challenging every possession counts, and we're doing that the first half.
I know you want to keep it going in the second half. Thanks for your time. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, thank you, David. And folks, don't go away. After the break, we'll see you right back here for the start of quarter number 3.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
We so hope you enjoyed our first half. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith. This is the halftime report. Paul George taking care of business in this one. He ended up with 31 points, 3 steals, and 2 assists. First 2 quarters from him were fun to watch. Kenny, let's get your take on Oklahoma City.
Right up front, we saw the elite two-way game of Paul George. Locking down guys defensively, lesser athletes have almost no chance to score on him. And then he was in total command on the offensive end. Made plays for others and shot lights out for himself.
Shaq, let's get your insight on Toronto.
Well, they were playing like it was Christmas, Ernie. Giving up a lot of turnovers. There's no excuses for the turnover numbers, sloppy ball handling. They looked out of control, and the execution was all over the place.
And we're just about ready for the start of the third quarter. Kevin Harlan standing by. We'll see you.
Now it's been a one-sided affair so far through the first 2 quarters, but there's plenty of time to mount a comeback. You look at Paul George in this game, guys, he's been everywhere.
Yeah, so far they haven't found an answer for him, a scoring machine here in that first half.
And it's mattered not, Greg, whether he's been spotting up or creating for himself. He was unstoppable, and you hope it carries over to the second half.
And as we begin the second half, first half wasn't even close, guys, and we'll see if there is a comeback on our hands or more of the same as we get the third quarter started. Westbrook and Robertson are the backcourt pair. Paul George is out there with Anthony, and it's Adams in at the 5. That's Billy Donovan's 5 as we get going here in the second half. Now, here's George. A second chance effort. Adams' shot is good. Adams has got the first points to start out the third quarter for Oklahoma City. Toronto shooting in this game 45%. It's stolen by Adams. Over Valanciunas. Adams' shot is good. Adams has got 4 points now in the quarter.
Well, this is the classic hot hand, right? If he can keep it up, their lead will be safe.
And the replay is courtesy of Under Armour. Unleash chaos. It was a great sequence from the steal all the way to the finish at the other end. Valanciunas, he hangs in there and cashes in on the second chance points.
Well, Kevin, Valanciunas takes it off the window and leaves no doubt.
Here's Westbrook. That falls. Nice feed that time from George. George has got 3 assists in the game.
You know, you see Russell Westbrook now, and you just assume he's going to put up a triple-double. I don't think we thought we'd ever see somebody average that for an entire season. But what an incredible accomplishment last year, and turned the NBA upside down with that feat.
They blow the whistle just as he gets it off. That's 2 points with a chance for another one at the stripe.
Defense, for me, just hasn't made the commitment to sprint back. in transition, and that's why you see such a huge differential in fast break points.
And Westbrook with an incredible year in the triple-double average. He also broke Oscar Robertson's record for most triple-doubles in a single season. Doris, wonderful ceremony with the two of them on the last day of last season.
What's incredible to me is Westbrook is already 4th on the all-time triple-double list. Think about it. He's in his prime, and he could pass names like the Big O, Magic Johnson, and Jason Kidd. This is truly extraordinary.
George, no good on the free throw.
And Serge Ibaka, remember, it was a first-team all-defense selection. But over time, I think he's become more of a scoring-minded player, and I think that's affected his impact defensively.
And it's George finishing it off.
Keeping the pressure on and starting to pad this lead around the halfway point.
Yeah, seems like they're starting to pull away a bit right now. They just look a little faster and a little hungrier than the opposition right now.
They set the pick. Outside DeRozan. And that'll be Toronto as it goes out of bounds. Raptors retain possession. And Serge Ibaka, the league leader in block shots for 2 years in a row in 2012 and 13, but he sends them back at about half the rate he once did.
Yeah, but even still, pretty good shot blocker. You add in his finishing and outside shooting, and he's a player to be reckoned with.
And again, no good by Toronto. The Thunder have gone 5 of 6 so far from the field in the second half. Tremendous efficiency. And Westbrook throws it down hard.
All right, Kev, do you have the sense that Russell Westbrook believes he can score against anyone in the NBA? He's rolling right now.
Now here's DeRozan. 5 points in the game. Got a piece of it. And now a fast break for the Thunder. Westbrook leading the charge. And DeRozan sends it back.
Well, DeMar DeRozan, really strong effort on the defensive end, pays off by sending that opportunity back.
And racing up the court, you have a number of options and a great decision there.
I love how he took the initiative, right? You took charge of the opportunity and made the right decision.
The Thunder have gone 7 of 9 from the free throw line tonight.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
And the first one at the line is good.
Well, it's not hard to see what makes Paul George an exceptional player. He does it all for this team, one of the best players in the entire NBA.
And both free throws good for Paul George. The Raptors have gone 2 of 4 here to start the second half. Valanciunas with a screen on George. And so it looks like the Raptors will retain possession here. Three minutes gone now in the third quarter. For Oklahoma City, they've gone 6 of 8 on field goal attempts in the third. A 75% clip. That shot off. Good work defensively by Lowry. Right wing. Poked loose. Oh, the lob to DeRozan. And out of bounds as the Thunder gain possession.
No clue where that pass was going. That is a brutal turnover.
The Thunder shooting has been out of this world, 74% from the field. Robertson dishes to Carmelo. No good on that one. And Toronto will come the other way. Just under 3.5 minutes played here in the third quarter. Valanciunas passes to Ibaka. Yep, that one goes. Ibaka's got 9.
Well, you love how Ibaka goes right up with the shot. Doesn't hesitate for a second off the catch.
George. And it's George finishing it off.
A one-man show offensively, and that's almost always good news for his team.
The Raptors have gone 3 of 7 on field goal attempts here in the second half. And Lowry gets double teamed. And DeRozan kicks to Lowry. Good. And it's DeRozan picking up the assists. 18 points for Kyle Lowry.
What a fluid perimeter.
Oh, wow.
It's crazy.
That's a beautiful jam.
Oh, he's putting on a show for these fans.
I can't believe he pulled that one out in the course of an actual game. Here's Anunoby, and the Raptors hit again from deep.
Yeah, that's 2 bombs in a row from long range.
And it's George finishing it off.
Well, you love the tenacity. Paul George cannot be contained when he gets near the 10.
Toronto's gone 2 of 3 when they ventured outside the arc in the third quarter. Launches it. It's rebounded by Oklahoma City. Adams has got 6 rebounds here tonight. And Westbrook, here we go. Outside DeRozan. Trying to find Valanciunas. Gets it to him. Ibaka against Anthony. Ibaka sets the pick for DeRozan. Just 5 on the clock. And there's Lowry. That's good on the assist from DeRozan. And that's 21 points for Kyle Lowry. Shoots from the elbow. Second shot opportunity. Here's Anthony. It's good. Now he's shooting 6 for 7.
You know, and even when the play isn't for him, Anthony able to get on the glass and on the scoreboard.
Ball stolen. Here's Roberson. Botches the slam dunk finish.
Your good interior D there prevents the deuce.
Well, if he wasn't there, that shot's going in. Love the effort on the defensive end.
Here's Anunoby. 16 points for him. The feed to Ibaka. 3-pointer. And again, Toronto with the triple.
12 straight points off of 3-pointers, and the D looks shell-shocked.
And it's George finishing it off.
Oh, and this is some serious showmanship. Loving that tomahawk right there.
Craig, he came with force, and that's not just about getting 2 points. That was sending, I think, a message. Buries the long-range jumper.
And how about the last 5 made shots have all been threes? The defense is just giving up a barrage.
And for a while, you had to wonder how Russell Westbrook would play if he was the standalone leader of a team.
What we found out is Russell Westbrook is now an MVP. This guy was the unquestioned leader of the team, and I thought the entire group reflected his intensity on the court.
2 shots.
And he makes the first.
I think one of the things that makes Russell Westbrook so unique is his hunger. He puts his heart on the line during every possession. Forget every game, every possession.
Catching up on the changes for Oklahoma City. Grant, he's checked in for Anthony. Alex Abrinas comes in for George. And it's Felton in for Roberson. He's perfect from the line this time. Of course, we've seen a number of aging players really change their bodies through better nutrition and improved fitness conditioning. Do you think we'll see more guys even extending it further, playing into their 40s in the NBA?
Well, how great would it be to see LeBron James play into his 40s? You look at a guy in the NFL, a much more physically demanding game in terms just of the hitting that's done in the game. Tom Brady approaching his 40th year, incredible. And LeBron James would be the player I point to. There's a guy 6'8", 200 and whatever he is, probably 65 pounds, who every single day puts time into the process of keeping his body healthy. It's great. His greatness has been sustained, but he pays a price to get there, Kevin.
And Doris, you can change your body and you can change your game too as you grow old.
That's a great point. Think about how much of a low post scorer Kobe Bryant became later on in his career because the elevation,
great example.
His ability to elevate so different.
Great example. Patterson, he's checked in for the Thunder. Houston comes in for Russell Westbrook. Clock at 6. Van Vliet passes to Wright. No good with the triple. Oklahoma City shooting just phenomenal here tonight. 73% from the field. And he gets it to go as they call the foul. He's on his way to the line for one more.
Another bucket down low. They've been the aggressors, taking the ball inside and attacking at the rim.
One shot.
Toronto shooting a stellar 60% since the halftime break. Here's Van Vliet. He's covered by Felton. From deep, Miles. The shot that time, not on target. Now Oklahoma City takes it the other way. Here's Abrinas. And it's out of bounds. The Raptors will take it the other way. And a moment here to look at where the shots have been coming from for the Raptors.
And it's really been a tremendous night. He's been efficient. He's been a major driving force in this offense. And it's no small task to try to slow him down. Once he gets rolling, like we've seen in this game so far, watch out.
Here's the Raptors with the ball. Floats one. It's rebounded by Oklahoma City. And here is Felton. Looking at his numbers, he's averaging about 6.5 points a game.
They are just killing them on the interior.
Raptors shooting a respectable 47% from the field in this one. Van Vliet kicks to Pirtle. And the whistle blows, so a chance here for a three-point play.
Well, Kevin, you love to see him powering through the contact to get the bucket and one. Pirtle with a show of some strength.
And the first ever NBA player out of Austria, Jakob Pirtle, the 9th overall pick back in 2016.
And remember, he was the Pac-12 Player of the Year as a sophomore at Utah. This guy's 7'1", pretty good athlete, still adding strength, though, to bang bodies at the NBA level.
Shooting one.
And that one misses.
So how cool is it, Kev, that Jakob Pirtle makes NBA history as the first ever Austrian-born player in the league? Doesn't matter what else he does in his career, he'll always have that distinction. That's cool.
And the Raptors with the ball, following the score by Oklahoma City. Now here's Wright. Defense is right there. And that's out of bounds. Toronto will retain possession. Now we get a chance to check out the standings out west. Already we're in December. Take a look at the Warriors, earning the first place position with a terrific record. And we've seen them perform splendidly pretty much all season long so far, and they're definitely the team to beat. And checking out Oklahoma City, 8 games out.
And when I look at Oklahoma City, they've stayed right there, just in sniffing distance of the conference leaders. That's a solid accomplishment at this stage of the season.
Yeah, even so, though, I'm sure they're not satisfied just being near the top of the standings. They're going to be looking to make a major push as the season winds down.
Really crisp, intelligent passing to make that basket possible.
Powell kicks to Pirtle. The offensive rebound. Oklahoma City shooting just phenomenal here tonight. 73% from the field.
Well, a convincing finish by Patrick Patterson, giving us a demonstration of the kind of power he has at his disposal.
Here's Powell. Out left to the wing. Van Vliet passes to Powell. Pirtle sets the pick for Miles. Here's Van Vliet. Off target from outside.
Boy, all sorts of space around him. If he can't hit those, the defense not going to worry too much about him. I'll tell you, that's an assist that shows great sense for where his teammates want to move.
Here's Van Vliet. He's got 12. Miles with it. Now Powell. 6 on the shot clock. They set the pick. Off the screen. Miles, that's good. Miles has got 5.
How crafty is C.J. Miles using those screens, right? He knows where to be and when.
Raptors shooting an outstanding 55% from the field since the half. You know, their execution has been on point. The three-pointer is right on target.
Another triple, and that's been the story of this second half.
Boy, they have consistently been draining shots from deep, and that can take the heart out of an opponent.
Van Vliet. It's rebounded by Oklahoma City.
Yeah, bad shot there. Trust is lacking. You got to be willing to make the extra pass.
I'm not sure why he doesn't continue to move the basketball. Would have served that team much better.
The Raptors shooting pretty good tonight at 48%. Passes it to Powell. Here's Siakam. Three-pointer. It's Miles again for 3. Miles has got 2 now from beyond the arc in the third for the Raptors. Here's Grant. The shot from the low post is good. 8 points for him.
Well, this is why Jeremy Grant's size is important. Stretches out beautifully whenever he's close to the rack.
There's a good screen. Knocked loose. Stolen by Grant. Goes up, and Grant slams it home.
Well, Jeremy Grant doing what is to his strength, which is get out and transition, give yourself an easy opportunity.
30 seconds left here in the third quarter. Van Vliet kicks to Pirtle. He feeds it to Powell. He dishes it to Pirtle. Here's Siakam. And he converts the layup.
The initial miss was the best thing that could have happened to them. He was in absolutely perfect position for the putback.
And it's Patterson finishing it off.
I'll tell you, that vertical ability he has puts him in select company in NBA power forwards. May not have great size, but boy, he plays bigger than it.
With 1 on the clock, off target with that shot. And as we conclude the third quarter, pretty much a blowout. It's been a one-sided affair. Oklahoma City out in front, opening up a huge gap. And we'll have the start of the fourth quarter for you as soon as we get back from this short break. And from the most recent huddle, let's listen in on head coach Dwayne Casey.
Don't give in to their semi-fast break and get mismatched. We got to sprint back. We don't want to just give in to a mismatch. That's what they want.
And Dwayne Casey extremely focused on what he feels are cracks in their transition D.
Hey, creating space on the fast break. Something every team practices. They not only have to flip from offense to defense faster, they have to communicate much better.
And we welcome you back as we get going here in the fourth quarter. The final quarter of play can change everything. On the court for Toronto to start the fourth, they've got Norman Powell. C.J. Miles is out there with Pirtle, and it's Van Vliet in at the point. Doris, one result of the new CBA, minimum contracts increasing 45%. That's a big help to the NBA's working class, I think.
Well, I don't think there's any question that you see increasingly role players, someone like Draymond Green, whose value has not necessarily translated in terms of points per game, but his value to winning can't be calculated. And you're right. You see important role players and guys below the superstar level increasingly becoming better compensated. And, hey, listen, there's more of the pie to go around. Who doesn't enjoy a little more cherry pie, Kev?
Yeah, good thoughts. Good thoughts. And Johnson drops them both. Toronto shooting pretty good tonight at 48%. Now here's Powell. He kicks to Pirtle. There's the pass to Van Vliet. 6 to shoot. High, arcing shot, and it's blocked. Eustace passes to Felton. Baseline jumper. Count that one.
And a lot of teams avoid the mid-range jumper, but they seem to be using it well.
Felton's gone 3 of 6 from the floor. Now here's Powell. Not a lot of room. Pirtle dishes to Powell. Pass to Van Vliet. The rebound by Patterson.
Listen, that's a look he can hit, but right now he can't throw it in the ocean.
Uses both hands to slam it down.
Well, check out that assist. That's a pair of teammates that are clearly on the same page.
And turnovers have been the issue for him.
You can see the coaches have gotten into him a little bit about this. They've got to do a better job of taking care of the ball.
Now here is Pirtle. We've gone about a minute and a half into the fourth quarter. Here's Van Vliet. Toronto working the ball around now. Here's Siakam. Not enough on that one as it misses. Patterson down low. And oh boy, a lot of contact there, but he gets the call and will shoot two. Greg, the one thing about Patrick Patterson out of Kentucky, he is a smart basketball player.
Yeah, he's not the best rebounder or shot blocker, but the advanced stats love him, and he gets the job done at both ends of the floor.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
The first one falls. And an impressive transition for Patrick Patterson, developing Doris into a stretch 4 in the NBA.
Well, think about it, Kev. This is a guy who only made 24 threes in 3 years at Kentucky. Now in the NBA, he averages over 100 a season.
And Patterson drops them both. And the outcome of the collective bargaining agreement and a potential 11-year stretch of labor peace, one of the longest in league history. Doris, what does that mean for this great game of ours?
Well, it means certainly that we can all take a sigh of relief. Everybody wants to play basketball and see basketball played. So great for the players, their representation, great for the league, and certainly great for the fans and the television partners.
And Doris, I sense such fairness on both ends, too. It really is a partnership.
You know, I think it would be wise for both the players and the ownership to remember they need each other to peacefully coexist and to thrive. And when you're trying to get an agreement that does the best by both parties, this is what you can have. You can have a long stretch of labor peace that makes everyone happy.
Well said. Jonas Valanciunas, he's checked in for Norman Powell. And Wright kicks to Valanciunas. Back to Wright. Patterson bringing the double. Here's Caboclo. Toronto with the first shot clock.
And that's a good job of just getting after it on the backboard, gets them another possession, and allows them to run even more clock.
Now here is Pirtle, and taken away by Johnson. Uses the glass to finish the layup.
Costly there. Just a loss of focus leads to the ball going the other way.
Well, he simply wasn't paying attention. Coughed it up. Got to be more assertive and strong with the basketball.
Here's Caboclo. Here's Valanciunas, using his post move to get the 2 points.
Boy, the assist just put on time and on target. Easy shot opportunity.
And the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Johnson. Here's Wright. They've been looking out of sync offensively.
Yeah, their offense has ground to a standstill.
Valanciunas, good.
And he has found the stroke, folks. Continues to knock down shot after shot. Perfection thus far.
Got that one up quick.
Yeah, usually teams go on runs and it comes from a lot of layups and dunks, but not now.
And a little over 3.5 minutes in the books so far here in the fourth. Kicks to Pirtle, puts it up from 17, and there are the Raptors with another bucket.
I think it's a big help when Pirtle can make the mid-range. It forces the defense to bring the bigs out of the post, and it really opens up things.
Here's Caboclo. Feeds to Wright. And Doris, we know basketball is a team game, but fans and media alike love to focus on the stars. What do you think is the psychology behind that?
You know, Kevin, I think you and I certainly admire watching talent. And it doesn't matter what shape that talent takes. It could be a Broadway star doing their thing on a nightly basis, sometimes twice a day. For us, to watch somebody that we know has paid a price to be great is really special. And so those who are best at what they do are that because they put in the time. And who couldn't admire the work that's required of that?
What I like about your broadcasting, Doris, you never get distracted by the stars. They're obviously there, but I love the way you encompass the entire team and aren't just fixated on just that big-name player that maybe the average fan is.
Yeah, I think sometimes people forget NBA stars because they are so great and can seem like Supermen. They're people like everybody else.
And he makes the first.
You know, Kev, I remember when Patrick Patterson was coming out of high school. Major recruiting battle. Every school seemed to want this guy. Duke, Florida, you name it. But the Kentucky Wildcats win again.
And Patterson drops them both. Toronto's gotten off to an 0 for 2 start from downtown here in the fourth quarter. Valanciunas with a screen on Felton. And Wright kicks to Valanciunas. And so it looks like the Raptors will retain possession here. Wright outside. Pass to Caboclo. Takes the three. Here's Valanciunas. Johnson with the block. And it's Patterson finishing it off.
Boy, Kev, what a day Patrick Patterson is having. The points coming in bunches. He has been superb.
They've been a little too casual with the ball out there.
Yeah, but you can't force that square peg into the round hole. Oftentimes, you just got to make that first simple pass and get a rhythm from that.
Boy, nice team basketball being played right there. You see the open man and you deliver the ball right away. Boy, this guy has been transcendent this quarter. Something really lit a fire underneath this guy.
And Toronto has possession. And Wright kicks to Valanciunas. Over Johnson. Valanciunas can't get that one to fall. For Oklahoma City, they've gotten 7 of their 8 shots to fall here in the fourth. A tremendous offensive outburst. It's good.
Yeah, and in terms of accuracy, they are dominating the second half.
Well, they're certainly connecting on a lot of shots in the second half, generating high percentage looks and really cashing in.
Here's Caboclo. That three off the mark. Eustace passes to Felton. And Doris, looking at the financial health of the league, tremendous TV ratings with the finals coverage again. Nearly half the teams valued around $1 billion, which to me is just unfathomable. Are we in the golden age of professional basketball in this country, of the NBA?
I think certainly we are in one of the great generations for the NBA. And think about this. I know soccer is the most popular game worldwide, Kevin, but increasingly basketball beyond the borders of the United States is one of the most popular and fastest growing sports. So I don't think there's any question the NBA is at its peak of its popularity with no end in sight. And I think there's a reason for that. You know, I think there's something very tangible and touchable to the NBA fan. Look at a guy like Steph Curry. He looks like every man, and yet he's finding tremendous success. That's appealing to NBA fans of the next generation.
Both shots good from the stripe. And the Raptors with the ball. Atlanta will be traveling to face them after this game. That'll be the first of 2 straight at home. Wright dishes to Valanciunas. Here's Caboclo. Good on the three-point shot.
Boy, that play developed just the way they wanted, and Valanciunas made sure they got the bucket. What a tremendous pass.
The shot by Johnson, no good. Toronto's gone into a funk from downtown in the fourth. Only one of their 5 3-pointers has found the bottom of the bucket and taken away by Johnson. And Johnson with the stop.
And that's how you make a steal count. Turn it into a quick slam at the other end.
It was really a case, it looked like Greg Anthony right there, if I can say so. It was really a case of a great defensive play triggering some instant offense.
Yeah, and he was so quick to break on that one. A good sign that he read the play.
Man, he's having quite the quarter, converting at a really high percentage.
Nice D from Valanciunas. And here is Wright. Dishes it to Pirtle. Here's Caboclo. Johnson over to help. Down low. And it's Valanciunas finishing it off.
Boy, Kevin, what a game it's been for Jonas Valanciunas. It hasn't mattered what the defense has thrown at him. He's continued to deliver on the offensive end.
Okay, 2 hands for safety. That's what they say, right?
That's right. He was ultra safe with that dunk, no question. Raptors shooting here in the fourth quarter, around 41%. Passes to Caboclo. Doris, the league would prefer that players stay in college a minimum of 2 years before entering the draft. Others have countered with straight out of high school in that approach. Which way do you lean?
I would say I would lean to allow these young men, if they're prepared and have the talent and ability to go straight from high school to the league, they should have that opportunity. We don't put restrictions on any other field of endeavor. If you're a great musician, you can go to New York City and make a living in an orchestra on Broadway. To me, if you're capable, you should be allowed the opportunity. This is America. We are a land of opportunity.
Now, here's Felton. Lets it go from 11. Valanciunas grabs the board. Valanciunas has got rebound number 12 here already in the game. The pass to Caboclo. Snatched away. Felton kicks to Patterson. Jumps up. They get it again. And it goes down 2 points.
He just punishes you on the backboard. I mean, it's pretty deflating for a team trailing big and still giving up second chance opportunities.
You know, I think he senses a team on the ropes and he's looking to put them away. That killer instinct is shining through once again.
And Pirtle pulls it down. Pirtle's got rebound number 9 now. What an effort here tonight. Valanciunas sets a screen for Wright inside. And Pirtle gets it to go on the assist by Wright. And 12 points for Jakob Pirtle.
You know, he clearly made adjustments at halftime. Smooth offense right now.
Oh, I dunk you very much.
He can really fly, and you combine that, Greg, with some nice penetration, too, and you've got 2 points. Now here's Wright. Johnson over to help. Pass to Caboclo. Wright outside. 6 on the shot clock. Doris, looking at the way the playoffs are set up, the top 8 teams from each conference get in. So at what point might the league eliminate divisions altogether?
I don't think that's far in the future, to be perfectly honest with you. What I'm as curious about, Kevin, is would they ever seed the teams regardless of Eastern or Western Conference, because there seems to be some disparity in level of competition. Is that something you'd like to see, Kevin, where the teams are simply seeded 1 through 16 based on record?
I don't think I'd mind it, Doris, but I do like the fact that, kind of like in the other sports, where you don't have the familiarity, but you always think about what would it be like to see a 5-game series, Cleveland Golden State, whereas in the regular season, just there and at home. And there's something, I think, kind of mysterious, and you can project so many different things. It's great fodder before a series begins.
No question. It'll be very interesting to see which direction the league goes in.
Here's Powell. Patrick Patterson picking up that last bucket. Wright, the pass to Pirtle. And here's Miles outside. That's in for his 5th make of the night. Now shooting at a 50% clip, 5 for 10.
And every set they're running looks like it's designed to produce a triple.
Well, you love how the ball is popping outside on the perimeter. It's being moved and finding the open man, and they're cashing in.
And as we head to the final buzzer here, a crushing blowout big-time dominance, and this will go in the record books as a gaudy win for the Thunder.
It was a standout performance across the board.
I mean, it was like watching a cat play with a mouse. They were able to do more or less whatever they wanted.
And a milestone win for the season. This will push their victory total to 20 wins even.
And so they'll take the first game of the season series, a team they'll only see twice. They're certainly happy to start it off with a win.
The one player that really stands out, of course, in this one, it was a dazzling game for Paul George.
Boy, what a determined offensive presence he has been for them tonight. He carried the scoring load, and as hot as he was, it took a ton of pressure off his teammates all night.
Siakam is checked in for Toronto. Now a timeout called by Oklahoma City. They're ahead. 51 seconds left in the game.
Well, the Lithuanian 7-footer Jonas Valanciunas, very effective scoring at the rim. He can get you buckets on the low block. He's an excellent finisher in the pick and rolls. A lot to like about this guy.
Now we've got a moment for our Jordan Player of the Game, Paul George.
And it's been a ridiculous performance in the best sense possible. I mean, everything about his game has been working. And no matter what they've thrown at him, he's had the answer.
The better he played, the more these fans got revved up. And that continued to play out over the course of his amazing performance. Raptors shooting straight 49% from the field. And Valanciunas, a tremendous offensive rebound.
And that's important, Kevin, because so much of their offense flows through that tremendously talented backcourt. If Valanciunas wants more touches, he's got to go and create them.
Now, here's Grant. After the miss from Jakob Poeltl, can't cash in from close range. Shot and game clock separated by 5. Stolen by Grant. Over Miles. No good from Grant. Felton against Miles. Now the dish to Wright. Fires from deep. They get it back. So no problem for Oklahoma City as they get the win. This game may not have been the most exciting we've ever seen, but you have to appreciate just what a clinical performance they put on.
I know their fans appreciated it, and we saw at times just stretches of excellent defense, potency from an offensive standpoint as well. They were pretty much dominant.
And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Thanks very much, Paul. Congrats on the win. Where's your team's attitude right now?
Continue to, play together, and we can just stick to that. Keep working, staying confident, keep defending, and knocking shots down. We'll be all right.
Looked like it all came together tonight, Paul. Thanks very much. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, David. Great interview once again. Thank you for joining us. That'll do it for now. For Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for tuning in. And we'll see you next time